How are you guys? Great. Well, before we get started, I just want to thank Lee and 1 Million Cups. First of all, Lee, for inviting us up here. And for 1 Million Cups, for just the way that it strengthens the fabric of our startup community. We're honored to be here. For those of you that I have not met, my name is Mikolai Bedor, and I'm co-founder of Otium Outdoors. Now we're going to take a left turn down a different road away from tech for a little while and solve a problem that is very common, which is the ability to haul whatever you want, whenever you want, regardless of what you drive. So let me see a show of hands of how many people ever have to run errands, right? And how many of you guys have ever been in a situation where you're about to leave Kia or Best Buy or Walmart or wherever, and you realize that the box, that the thing that you bought in, does not fit in your car? Does that ever happen to anyone else here? Right? It's happened to everybody. And it happened to millions of Americans across the country, I'm thinking, as well. So what we decided to do is spend the last couple of years sourcing materials, working with different engineering teams and design teams to come up with a solution that can fix this problem. It's called the Otium Soft Rack. So what the Otium Soft Rack is the portable, affordable, easy to set up and tear down alternative to a lot of the cumbersome, clumpy metal racks that you find on some SUVs and cars, and the sophisticated option to duct tape and pillows and some of the cheaper inflatable options. Simply what it is it's made of 2 EVA closed cell foam blocks encased in weather and waterproof canvas. Features rubber tech-like material on the top and the bottom to make sure that your stuff stays on tight, but also doesn't scratch your car. That was kind of a big one for me. Has 9 different security loops, so you can use it for whatever you want. Now the idea behind this was we wanted to create one rack so that in the perfect day, you could make a lumberyard run in the morning, take it off and go about your day with different business meetings, and then at night pop it back on and go for a sunset paddleboard cruise or something like that. It's held down with 10-foot long seatbelt-like straps, super sturdy for impact-free, rattle-free transport, and it keeps everything kind of in place. So this is a simple idea, right? And we get it. So why get excited about this? And why are we even here? This is a tech crowd, right? Well, the reason to get excited about it is it's a simple idea. It's something that enhances your life. It just makes it easier. It's one of those things that before you had one, you don't really know how you got around. Here's an example. I had my parents fly in from Florida after wintering a couple weeks ago. Now, I got a small car and a 6-month-old that was excited to see their grandparents, but what I completely underestimated is how heavy my mom packs. So she rolled up with a huge blue suitcase, and I'm not kidding, it was the size of my car. I was thinking about leaving her there. That wouldn't have been popular with my daughter. But instead, we were able to kind of put the rack up, set it up right in the little curved lane, and drive away, no problem. I honestly don't know what we would have done without the rack. Another reason to get excited about it as a user is the price and the quality. You're going to get a chance to meet Connor in a sec here, but he personally sourced all these materials to make sure it's the highest quality rack available, but also the price point. So with our retail advisors, something they came at is to price us right between kind of your inflatable, kind of your lower quality racks, and then your expensive Thule and Yak metal racks for people that didn't want to put that on their car. So we're priced at $160 retail. Now, why are we here? Well, here's why. We need you. So on our own, this is basically it's a simple idea. People get it with little to no explanation, and as soon as they do, they say, oh, I can see this. I want one. And I know a bunch of people. I know a bunch of other people that do as well. They sell it kind of for us. It's one of those ideas that people can rally behind, which is why our Crowd Supply, one of the founders of Crowd Supply, reached out to us. He had one of those blow-up inflatable racks as he was cruising down the highway in California, or was it Washington, and it literally blew up. So his kayak was flailing all over the place, could have caused a huge wreck. So he reached out to us to say, I don't want to attach a metal rack to the top of my car, and this obviously isn't working. Let me help you out. It's another reason why some national retailers have raised their hands as far as interest. Vail Resorts, they have 180 rental and retail shops. Hertz Rent-A-Car, Shields, we've had some others. We've had some local partners reach out. Paddle North, if you guys are familiar with the house, we're in talks with them. So we've got the interest there. We've got national exposure in Gear, Junkie, and four other blogs. We've only been around for a couple of months as far as going live. So we have the interest. We have the infrastructure. We have our manufacturing team set up. We've got our engineer a block away if we need to make any tweaks. We've got a decent shipping relationships. We can maybe use help with that. We've got a fantastic fulfillment warehouse in Medina, right? Crete, whatever. Yeah, Medina. He's got the details on that. So we've got a dream team in place. We've got everything in place. Here's what we do not have. All right, we do not have CPG or consumer or retail experience. We don't have that. We don't have the relationships. We don't have the know-how. We're new. We're babies to this business, right? We also don't have the finance or that kind of mindset or those connections. Now we've been reaching out with different VCs who've been excited. If you guys know Ryan Broshar, he's a big fan of Otium. Obviously not his wheelhouse. We've also been with some retail advisors who've helped us out. But as far as scalability, we're scared to death. We think we're at the brink of this idea really exploding. And when it does, we just want to make sure that we have the finances, kind of a roving financial scale to be able to command this. We've been advised that maybe an inventory line of credit would be a wise move, but we don't have the history to prove that. We're about to make our first order and we have most of them filled. We're excited about that. But the next step is what we're scared of, and we're really hoping that we can maybe pick your guys' brains over the next 20 minutes in regards to those things and any other ideas you guys have, good or bad. We're open. So at this moment, I'd like to thank you guys for listening and then invite the other co-founders up, and you guys can fire away or offer any advice you may have. Thank you. Went to China is Connor actually lived out in China and has a personal relationship with our manufacturing, and the engineer is a family friend who's helped vet out a lot of the design and a lot of the work. We're actually on this is our 4th prototype because we use this daily. So there's certain things that we just wanted to change. Like my wife, we had D-rings on this thing before. You'll see that they're now rectangular. My wife couldn't get it off. It was easy to set up, couldn't get it off, right? So we had to change that so anybody could put it. Business development, operations, and marketing. So between the 3 of us, there are 6 companies represented. 2 startups, and then Ben is a part of Boom Boom Prints, if you guys are familiar as well. Helped kind of get them going.
Why is it $160?
Well, to start, it was $99. And we have some advisors out in the Park City and Colorado market who've worked in outdoor retail for 15 years. They're the ones plugging us into Hertz and Vail and so on. And basically they said no one's going to buy it because it's too cheap. Because you're hovering around the inflatable ones, the kind of do-it-yourselfers, which are about 45 to 75 bucks. So 99 reflected that. So they thought it wise to move it up to 160, so that selling direct, the margins would be very healthy, but also we'd be able to get a healthy cut off of a retail relationship as well.
Yep. How do you guys come up with the name, and how do you see it as catching like Apple, Sony, or Nike? Those just click. How do you guys come up with that? I'm
gonna pass the mic to him for the full explanation because I don't speak Latin. Is that how you say? What?
I think you came out.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, well, Ben, Hannah.
But as far as the story behind it, so we're gonna kind of do this backwards. This is a lifestyle brand. So this is a product, one of many. So our idea is to kind of embrace the small footprint culture that we're all in right now. The simplicity. How do we simplify and minimize our lives? That kind of embrace that lifestyle. So make a lot of small footprint type of solutions that create a lifestyle brand around mobility, anywhere you want to go, whenever you want to go there.
Yeah, and so the name Otium, it actually means like freedom and finding freedom, going to that place. But the idea behind it is we wanted a single word that could represent more, because our competitors, Thule and Yakima, people say, oh, is that a Thule rack? Is that a Yakima? So we kind of want to have that in our name where someone can say, oh, is that Otium? And the outdoors actually tagged along because Otium.com was taken, so we did OtiumOutdoors.com and added it, and it kind of brings the brand together because we are trying to make that outdoors lifestyle brand, and so that was the idea behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the strategy behind naming our company, Otium Outdoors, probably along with other companies, is to make it synonymous with those established brands, but yet differentiated. And so that's, as well as our logo, which you can't see right now. You want to hold that up, please? We spent a lot of time developing it because we wanted it to be simple and standalone, like the Oakley O or the Quicksilver, something like that. So in the future, we don't need the rectangular banner, if you will. So that was the strategy behind the name and the logo.
So you talked about your other competitors and that. Tell us a little bit about that, and where you really seem like you fit better than they do. What are you challenged by?
Absolutely. You know, and it's, to be fair, it's not a story of what's better or what's not. I mean, we put all of the last couple of years in vetting out resources to make this the highest quality Otium soft rack that you can purchase. But no, you know, diss on Thule or on the blow-up market, but those are two different markets. You know, the Thule or the blow-up market is for people that maybe need to haul a mattress here and there once in a while. The Thule and Yakima rack are people that, I'm a car person, so I don't, and I like my car, and I do not want a piece of metal hanging on it. And it's too cumbersome, if you guys have ever used those, to set up and set down in a day, right? It just, no way. I mean, no one's going to do that. I had those. I lived in Colorado. No way. So we wanted to be in the middle of that, right? The once a year person to the everyday person, and who's comfortable with that. We wanted it to fit the lifestyle of, we think, business professionals or what have you, who also like to be active. I mean, I'm a daily active person, so I use mine every other day but that's not everybody. This is kind of that middle ground, and thus we price pointed it that way. Because you're going to invest $500 in something you're going to use every day. You're going to invest $35 in something you're going to use once a year. $160 is a fair price point, we were advised, for that in-betweener. Is that, you bet. Microphone check.
Thank you, Lee. I guess I have two questions, or one statement, one question. What is the wear and tear on this? So how many uses do you think consumers can get out of this? Is that a 2-year use? If they're a pretty regular user of it, what is the wear and tear on your material? That is a great question. We have vetted and tested these things not only personally, but for other people to. Okay, can I give you a specific answer? No, I cannot. I don't know, because every user is completely different. I've had, how long have you had? We've had ours for quite a while now, and I haven't even seen one of the straps pop. The amount of stitches that are in these things are for that. But if you use it every day in Arizona and you leave it on your car, you know what I mean, every single day, I don't know. That's a great. I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah.
The straps and more about the wear and tear of putting a surfboard and putting skis and then putting on and off the pulling of it against the material. Okay. That was more of my question.
10-year warranty or 5-year warranty?
Well, we have, our return policy is to match. Oh, go ahead. Oh.
Yeah.
Why don't you answer this?
Well, yeah, I was going to say that that was one of the things that we talked about when I was in China. That's why we developed so many prototypes and testing it. And so this canvas is almost, it's very similar to the Sunbrella canvas that you have on patios and porches and stuff like that. So it's, one side is water resistant, and then the other side is that really durable, tough canvas-like material. And every seam is reinforced stitching, so no water is going to get in and it's not going to rip as easily. I mean, if you're pushing that thing around every day for a couple years, it's probably going to rip. I mean, just like most other products. But all the 9 security loops are reinforced at 4 different places. So, and that was the idea behind it, is that it doesn't pop as easily. It has a longer wear and tear ability, if you will. And so we're invested into the customer, but if it does break, we have a great guarantee and a warranty. So they can send it back and send us some pictures, tell us what happened, and we'll give them a new one, replace it, and then we'll also work to fix that error and improve the product.
Oh,
Yep.
You guys said you needed CPG help.
There we go.
So we have a company that we work with. That,
What's your name?
my name is Clarence. But basically, they help companies like yours. So they help Supermat. They help a bunch of companies get into Costco, and Walmart, and Target. You guys need the help. They can help.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
So my question was similar. What have you done? My question is similar to his. What have you done to demonstrate the capacity, load carrying capacity, say, or say videos that show, we've got this item, big bulky item attached, and the car is going, 75 miles an hour, or that sort of demonstration of what you've just told us.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we actually have. So we're in the middle of a crowdfunding campaign right now, and we made a video to demonstrate just that. I mean, we've got kayaks, 2 stand-up paddle boards with paddles on there. This product has made a 14-hour journey to and back to Colorado. So we've tested it through the elements, and we have a video on our website too, if you'd like to check it out. So.
And to address the load capacity, just because that's something that we're working with a couple of our patent attorneys and some other folks, we're actually mirroring. There's kind of a, I don't want to say template, but of the other, like the Thule and the Yakima and stuff that we're working with to kind of mirror in Word to really have it adjust to our rack. But in its simplest form, I would say if you could put it on your roof, you probably want to look at your car manufacturing warranty just to make sure what you can fit on your actual roof, because this.
Okay, question for you. I need to understand, are you developing a brand with a line of products that you're selling through ski outdoor stores, online? Is it more of an individual type product that you're trying to pitch? So I kind of need to understand where your business model is going, distribution. It seems like there's a lot of people in this space, and if you don't have enough product line, retailers are going to lose interest.
Absolutely.
And your sales costs, customer acquisition, or retailer acquisition will be above average. So can you talk about your long-term strategy and how you're going to market?
Yep, I'll take this in if you want to back it up.
Sure.
Absolutely. That was one of the, when we chose the name, Otium, we had all kinds of this rack or that rack or whatever rack to be the company name. The reason why we chose Otium is to create a lifestyle brand. So this is our Trojan horse, we'll say. This is a simple idea that everybody can get right away. But to your point, we're already in development of additional type products. The next one, well, a couple that we're looking at is a foldable bullet. If you guys have seen those in the top of cars, a lot of families, if they're taking long road trips, there's those. We're looking at other different attachments for various things. We're trying to figure out a bike thing. That's been a struggle, but it's all of our products and our whole trajectory is to be a lifestyle brand based around the whole model, which is small footprint, foldable, stow and go, small apartment. Visualize a small apartment, small space type of products. This is just the start. And to that point, it may be the base for other. We're thinking about a line for other things that can go onto this, and then a completely other line that is geared more towards long distance travel and so on. So all those are in the works. But to answer your question in a long-winded answer, we're developing a lifestyle brand here for those purposes.
Yep.
Yes.
How's the Kickstarter campaign going?
It's going well. We launched a couple.
It was about 4 weeks ago.
I think it was 4 weeks ago, and we are. I haven't checked today.
75%.
We're 75%.
We were 30 after a couple days.
Yeah, we were. I think it was. Yeah. So we had about 35% within the first week. So we celebrated that. That was kind of big news on Crowd Supply, and we've hit 75% thus far. So we're going to work. We have a couple events going on that we're going to work to close that 25%. Does that answer your question?
So what was your ask on the Kickstarter, and secondly, what is your purpose on the Kickstarter?
We asked for 7,500, and 99% of that purpose was for branding. was for marketing, was for stories, and it worked. In you know, first couple weeks, Gear Junk, we had 5 blogs reach out to us. You know the statistics on those.
Yeah. So going back to Nikolai's point, the purpose of it was it was kind of a marketing ploy and also introduced to market, so we can get feedback from different people. We can show them the video, show them the product specs, and see what they say. And so since then, yeah, we've had a number of blogs. Gear Junkie was a big one. I think they're actually based out of Minneapolis, and they kind of took us under their wing right away and represented us, which was really cool to see. And then, so to answer your question, we were asking for, we asked for $7,500, and we were selling the rack at a discount, $125. We sold it for $99 for the first 15, and that sold out the first day, which was cool to see. So again, it's more the idea behind it was to get feedback and to show the product in this fashion.
The attachment system appears to be passed through the vehicle, which seems to be great for a sedan or an SUV where you've got 4 doors. How do you attach to a coupe, and then what kind of product liability exposures have you thought about in terms of this thing pops and windows are popping out, or a strap pops and whips somebody inside the vehicle?
You gotta talk about that.
Sure. Yeah, so that's something that we've been really trying to hone in on and focus on what the exact parameters are. But if you're driving a Mini Cooper, we do have recommendations. You probably shouldn't be transporting a canoe. But we are working with 2 different law firms here in the Twin Cities, one with Schwagman to work on a patent, and then with another law firm to really hone in on that, like I said, and figure out what the product liability is, what the restrictions are, what you should be carrying on what type of vehicle. But we do have pretty standard set in stone stuff right now.
And the initial advisement was within each rack is to have kind of those T's and C's, or those obvious points to say, you know, if you're driving an MG convertible, this isn't probably going to fit anywhere on that, right? But you know, to kind of just lay out kind of the obvious ones, and then kind of the limitations, and just, you know, kind of have it be identified that way.
Well, let me follow that up. Yeah. In a coupe, you're always going to pass the back strap through a window.
Yep.
What's the kind of load is that put on the window itself, because you can't seal all the way to the top?
Is it? I'm not understanding.
So what he's asking,
I'm not visualizing.
let me repeat the question of this is what you're asking. So I think what you're talking about is on a coupe or anything like that, where the window, there is no door frame.
Soft top?
Is that?
Hard top. What he's saying is that when you
close
the window
so,
with the strap in, then
yep.
You're going to break the window.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. And so our marketing is it fits almost any vehicle. It doesn't fit all vehicles. It doesn't fit minivans, and it doesn't fit if you were to try to transport it where the window rolls up. That's not our target market. And so.
And that's built into the return policy. If you get it home and you realize that this doesn't work on your car, or there's any risk that you feel that you're uncomfortable, you can just return it for a refund. Because there are going to be some situations where we just can't fit that vehicle.
So when you put that strap on, is there a chance that you can put the strap on before you close the door and then just close the door and let the door be used as a security piece instead of passing it through the window?
That's actually how it's set up. You wouldn't roll the windows on it. Your doors are open.
You showed it through the window, and I thought that was
okay.
Yeah, the door was.
Yep. Good question. Yeah. This maybe I didn't hear it. Now I know what you're saying. This has been asked many times because people see that and they say, "Oh, my window." In most cars, not all, in most cars, including mine, the picture that was taken, there's the metal door. There's the metal door frame, so it has nothing to do with the window. So the window is protected by that metal door frame. In some of the cars, now I'm connecting. In some of those cars, like a convertible, like the old soft top convertibles that just has the window, it will still strap it down, but there isn't the strength of a metal door frame, right? So that would be your call if you got it home and you're like, oh, this kind of wiggles, that you could return it for a full refund. But in that case, the majority of the cars that we've tested these on have that metal door frame. So it looks like it's going through the window, but it's actually connected through the weather stripping and the door frame, which we tested doesn't damage, because that's why we went with the seatbelt-like strap, because it's thin, but the impact resistance is incredible.
Is because just about every Subaru does not have a door frame. I mean, they basically have the door on the old style, the window goes out and just seals to leather strips.
Okay.
Yeah. Even a hardtop coupe, you're going to have. Essentially, what you're saying is, if I take it right, you're really building this for a sedan model.
Yeah. I mean, yes and no. I mean, that's been what most of our tests have been on. So yeah, I mean, I would say yes. We want it to fit most vehicles. It's not going to fit all.
That's all the time we have for questions, you guys.
Thank you, guys.
The last one that we always ask as a community is, after this discussion, what can this community do for you going forward?
Keep questions like this coming. This has been the beauty of the crowd supply, is things that maybe we haven't tested or haven't thought of. I mean, I don't know about you, but we're going to go right to the first, we're going to do this testing to make sure that we know that the straps pull tight, but we want to test on cars like that because we haven't yet. Any relationships that you guys would be willing to share with us, or any relationship you would be willing to start with us, this is a small community, and we embrace any and all feedback, friendship, and partnerships. So thank you for listening. Thanks, Steve.
I'm really excited that we have Colin and Heather McElhatton back in the house for 1 Million Cups. They were our very, very first presenters at 1 Million Cups last July, and they set a high precedence with their presentation. They're still talked about by people who are there and this community. And they're also the first people to come back and present and give an update about where their business has gone and what's been going on in about the year since they presented. Just some other announcements around things going on here at the Hill. I will be sending this information out also. We have a number of different research databases that you can use for market research, industry overviews, creating business plans. But one of the databases that we have is called Privco, and it has information about all the investors in Minnesota. So if you are looking for investors and what they fund, you can come and use our database here. We will be creating a blog post about that database specifically and how you can use it and what information is contained in it. You can also see what companies, local Minnesota companies, have received funding. Any information that was public, we have that information in that database. And with that, I'm going to, are we?
Not sure what is going on here, but.
And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Colin.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Volume good for everyone? Okay. So yes, we were suckered into being the first presenters way back in July last year, and actually it was a really good experience for us. One of the things is we sell to our target market, but going through this process was kind of fun because you guys don't necessarily know our industry, and it was good to kind of simplify our presentation for people that don't know the automotive business, which is who our target market is. So first I want to start out with a quiz. Hate to do it to you guys, but by a show of hands, who has ever shopped for a vehicle, new pre-owned, at a dealership? Okay, majority of us. Of you that shopped at a dealership, did you guys feel the process took too long? Did you feel that did you not understand why it was taking so long to drive a car, or, get information, et cetera, et cetera? Anyone? Okay. Last question. Who's ever lost their keys or maybe misplaced their car where it was parked on a lot? Okay. So the majority of us. So our product is, we find your cars and keys. All right? So if you think about it, you have one car, maybe 2 sets of keys, and we misplace them. Well, dealerships have thousands of cars, thousands of keys, and they have hundreds of employees moving them around. They have vendors touching them, and you can't remember sometimes where you park your own car. You're not going to remember where I left it when you're trying to find it later down the road. So dealerships have a chronic problem because the cars move and the keys get lost and things like that. So what that leads to is, number one, lost keys, which now they're not just cut at a hardware store. They're $400 or $500 on average. You also have the delayed time of looking for these cars and keys. And you also have the diminished customer experience. You come in, you're educated. Most shoppers do about 8 hours of knowledge searching before they come to the dealership. Excuse me. So they know what they want to drive. They want a white, black Corolla S package, whatever it is, and now the salesperson is running around and looks unprofessional, and customers don't understand what's going on. So what we've developed is these little Bluetooth tags that get put on all of the dealership's cars and keys, and through a smartphone app or our website, you can put in the stock number, the VIN, search by year, make, model, or color, and drop a pin over Google Maps of where that car is located on the lot. The salespeople are more professional looking. If you do have to wait for a moment as a customer, you understand why. They're having to go to the off-site storage lot to go find the car key, and you're not wondering why the salesperson's taking too long. So that is the gist of the product. A little bit about our business. We're a mobile hardware and software development firm here in Minneapolis. We have over 60 years of retail automotive experience on our team, and our lead programmer is a PhD with 25 years of experience, and he's actually named inventor on 29 patents. So he's the one that makes all this stuff work.
Can I help it find, when you lose it in the couch, we'll show you this in the couch?
Absolutely. That's usually where they are. So. And actually, one of the things that we're doing is the dealership says, okay, thank you for your business, and you know, you saw that we use these tags for our keys and cars. Would you like to buy a set to keep track of your brand new car keys that are $400 or $500 a piece? So now it's a profit center for our customers instead of an expense. So what we give our customers is we give them physical key location, physical vehicle location, and what this leads to is replacing less keys each month, whereas if you lose one key a month, that it's a monthly reoccurring license fee that the dealers pay. So that ROI can be explained with replacing less keys each month. But then you also have a lot of unapplied time looking for these keys and, you know, all the other things that go with it. And what I like best about the product is it gives a better customer experience. We can get customers driving, and what we're actually finding is we can save 15 minutes on the process. So you come into the dealership, we can get you driving the right car faster, and that's leading to a better customer experience. The number one issue when manufacturers survey customers is time. They don't like the time it takes to find their new car. So the end result is, example here, our website. You can drop basically all of your inventory. Dealerships can see where their cars are. You can filter by, you know, I want to see all of my 2015 F-150s. They can make sure that there's no vehicles where they shouldn't be. They can see if they're, you know, stuck behind service or whatever. And then from the salespeople, they have an application that has all the photos from the website, which you saw, which brought you in, and they can say, is this the car you wanted to see? You confirm visually, and then they can hit location and say, that car's just out front, keys are in the key drawer, I'll grab those real quick and we'll get you driving. So it builds in the transparency. And everyone knows that shopping a car isn't always people like getting a new car, but they don't like the process of buying a new car. And the automotive business is trying to change that. Warren Buffett just recently bought $3.3 billion worth of dealerships because he sees a big opportunity in increasing the experience that people get when buying a car. And part of that is just being more transparent in the process, so this helps with that. So locating, show you a quick video on this. So you just find the vehicle that you're looking for. You can see the photos here. You hit location. We drop a pin. The green is the car. The purple is the key. And then this little meter here, you walk towards where the key pin is showing, and this will get warmer or colder based on moving closer to it. So it's not going to tell you that it's in Colin's desk, but if it is in Colin's desk, you get closer to it, that meter is going to be going off. So it's a way for you to find these keys. In fact, one of the local dealerships here says they've lost only one key in the last 120 days since going on the system, where they were losing 5, 6 a month. So it's very easy to communicate the ROI to our customers. It's very simple to get a dealership going. They just download our app either on iTunes or Google Play. So it's one app that we have to maintain, so it's pretty maintenance unintensive for us. So to recap, we're saving dealerships 15 minutes per customer. Salespeople, managers, everyone that has to keep track of this inventory saves a ton of time. They're going to replace less keys each month, get unapplied time back, and you're not losing customers that come in and say, hey, I've got 15 minutes, I'm on lunch, and you lose deals off of that. And then CSI, customer satisfaction. dealerships get paid a ton of money now based on that index. And that's why dealerships have been forced to kind of change their ways and become, give a better experience. So this is leading to them getting higher ratings, which leads to money for them. So that is our product. Some of our challenges, we launched this product in October of last year, and we've done about $250,000 in revenue off of that. And we're having some scaling issues. You know, we have 2 full-time employees, and then we have a couple part-time employees. And the 2 full-time employees are myself and my wife. So what happens is we sell, and then we have to install, and we sell, and we have to install. So we don't have a consistent funnel. So now that we've proven our market and we're showing good growth, we're now looking for investment to hire a full-time sales staff, get a full-time support team, and also we spend $0 on marketing. This is such a chronic problem for dealers that when we say, hey, we can find your keys and cars, they get it. Bless you. So that is it. Any questions?
The payment on the key and the car that is at the dealership, is that transferred to the customer when they buy the car?
So it's 2 different applications. The dealership would have their internal application, and then the customer would download the customer version, and they can associate. So the customer would give, you know, whatever they want to track, a label, and then I don't have the tag with me, but we have a little barcode, a QR code that they scan and associate that to Colin's wallet or whatever. So the sensor can be associated with whatever you want to track. And then you have an app where you can say, find my wallet, and it drops a pin of where your wallet was last seen. If you guys are familiar with the Tile app, it's a very similar setup. Yes?
I want one of these.
Yeah.
Where can I go and get one? You know, I'm going to have something in my car, I'm going to have this little extra fob now on my key.
Yep.
All right, so where do I go to buy it? How much is it?
So we have not gone after retail. So we've been selling to car dealerships, and we're going to launch and let them be our retailers. So, you know, you just bought a car from the dealership, they say, hey, would you like to buy a set? So we would be offering, we're not going to sell it directly. Now that's an idea, you know, eventually we would maybe launch a website and have you be able to order it from us directly. But we see right now the car dealerships can be our salespeople for that. You know, you're working with a sales professional, you bought a car and say, hey, would you like, you know, maybe 2 of these for your new keys? So that's our plan right now.
National now?
We have dealerships all over the country, and in fact, we have some of the largest, including the largest dealership in the country. We have dealers in California, Boston, Ohio, Florida, obviously here. So we're in probably 17 different states, and we have 30 customers that we've signed up since October. And we've been targeting the top performers because dealerships, you know, one of the things about the automotive business is you don't get into Target where you have 5,000 stores. You get into, you know, maybe a Walzer that has 13 stores, and then you have to go sell a Luther who has 30 stores. So you don't get into everyone overnight, but the nice thing is you also don't get kicked out overnight either. So it's a little bit harder to get into the business, but it's a little bit easier to sustain once you get in. Great questions.
Awesome. With regards to your revenues regarding the service, do you make money if the customer, the buyer, decides to activate this service on their car? And if so, is there an incentive for the dealer to sell the customer on this service at all?
Right. Great question. So we charge a $7.95 monthly licensing fee for the service for the dealers. So every month they pay us for that service. The tags we retail to the dealers for $10 a piece. Our cost is about $5.25. So if they sell to their customers, they're selling more sensors, which we profit from. So we want them to sell as many as they can. The reason the incentive for the dealership is they sell a 2-pack for $99, and they're making, you know, $80 per transaction as a little add-on, and it's a nice added value to the customer. And what we're doing is a nice vinyl wrap that has their logo and their dealership name, so it's sitting on their key ring, which is marketing for them. So everybody wins in this, and what we're finding is if a dealership can make $3,000 to $4,000 a month on our service, and we're finding their keys in cars and making it more efficient, it's a very easy sale to communicate. So that's why we added the sale, is to say, hey, you're going to have to pay, you know, $10,000, $15,000 up front to get the equipment and put them all on all of your cars, but your ROI is going to be paid back in 6 months, and then it's going to be a profit center. So I think his hand was up here.
The consumer has no monthly fee then?
No, it is free for the consumer. They buy the tags, and then the service is free for them. And then what we're telling dealers is, you know, tell the customer that you'll provide batteries for life. So the customers come back to you to get a battery. It costs the dealer 20 cents, and they get to see you again. So.
Do you have anything where, let's say someone, they purchased a vehicle, they've got one through a dealership.
Yep.
Now they trade that car in. Is there any way that they're gets deactivated so they can track that vehicle and do anything on that?
Yes, so the tags can only be tracked by your application that's downloaded to your device. So if I took your tags, they're not associated in my application, even if I downloaded the same app from the App Store. And furthermore, if you sell the car, you just take the tags out and you can put them on your new car. So the equipment stays yours, and you can put them on whatever you want.
With that being said, if I have a cell phone and I lose it and I get another cell phone and I download all these apps again,
yep.
Will that work with that?
You just rescan them into the new app that you downloaded. Okay. And actually, if you had the app previously, it would retain that if you had ever synced it with your computer or iCloud. It would keep those data profiles from you. Great questions. Yes, sir.
You manufacture the software, but the hardware, I'm assuming, is off the shelf?
Correct. So we programmed in-house the software. The tags are actually a Qualcomm system. So we've modified them so that you can't go to Qualcomm and use them with our system. You have to get them through us. But yes, we did not go through the process of having to develop our own hardware.
Since you've been in business since October?
We've actually been in business longer than that, but we launched our product in October.
What additional challenges or unforeseen challenges are you facing now that you didn't?
Well, the good news is the problems we all want as a startup is we're getting a lot of attention. You know, last month we got 5 referrals. Hey, I heard what you did for so-and-so, can you do it for us? But now our install dates are getting further and further pushed back to where we're still performing, but it's one, we're running our team pretty wild. You know, we're getting worn down, but also we would like to install dealers within weeks of when they sign up. They're excited. They signed up. They wrote a check for 10 grand. Let's get them going right now, not 45, 60 days down the road. So we're having a challenge of keeping up. Secondly, whenever we are installing, we're not selling. So we don't have a full-time sales team. So what we have actually presented to some investors is we want to get 5 salespeople in the top 5 markets so that they're constantly driving revenue, and then get the support infrastructure to make sure that we don't overpromise and underdeliver.
Well, and that's all the time we have for questions. Thank you so much for being here. The last question we always ask, though, now, what can this community do for you?
You know, any ideas, and we can talk after this if anyone's around, but any ideas of, you know, how to scale and keep the quality that we've had? You know, Heather and I have very good relationships with our customers. How do we continue that as we grow? The other issue that we've had is everyone wants to be part of a startup. Now, this is great. Small team, it's going to be fun, it's flexible. And what we're finding is the average employee is not set up for that environment. There is no training. You know, we're not a corporate company where we're going to come in and teach you everything you need to know. We kind of need you to figure it out. You know, anyone that started a business gets what I'm saying. So it's hard to hire the right people. Even if we had $2 million in funding, it's hard to hire the right people. So if anyone has resources of how to either find the right people or vet the right people through, you know, profiles or some sort of things like that, that would be awesome feedback.
Great, thank you so